We got 10 days left, so here we go.
With the 15th pick in the NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's our life. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today, we got to talk about the NFL Draft. I honestly believe this is going to be one of the most unpredictable drafts, not just talking about the Eagles, but the rest of the NFL. We got mock drafts saying 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 quarterbacks go in the first round. I'm not saying all before us, but 4 quarterbacks, 1 quarterback, 2 quarterback. It's just been bouncing all over. So before we get into it, help your boy out and hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and ding that notification bell so you know when these videos drop or when we go live, because I'm going to have you guys do a mock draft. We got 10 days left. It's about to get serious. Also, shout out to manscaped.com for sponsoring this video. Go to manscaped.com, get what you want. Use promo code PhillyMike for 20% off and free shipping. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. But this draft is going to be crazy, right? I've seen different first overall picks. I've seen different top 10s. I see people falling. I see people moving up. Wide receivers, corners, defensive tackles, linebackers. I mean, I just don't know where these chips are going to fall. And more importantly, Andre Dillard. An article was written on him about being a trade chip during the draft or the week leading up, because we are most likely not going to use his fifth year option. So he's a quality left tackle. If you look at all 32 teams in the NFL, he could probably start on 15 of them, 12 of them. Left tackles they don't grow on trees. And we saw him get better at the left tackle position. But who are the Eagles going to draft with their 2 first-round picks? And more importantly, is Howie going to stay at 15 and 18? I really could see him move up from 15 to about 9, 10, 11, 12, and drop 18 to 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, just because of the flexibility we have with a third-round pick, with next year's capital, with pieces on this roster that we could trade. Say there's an offensive coordinator that believes they can get the most out of Jalen Reagor, or have Andre Dillard as their starting left tackle. Heck, what if Minshew's on the table because quarterbacks don't go the way other teams want? Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Ritter is moving up into the first round, not necessarily before the Eagles, but in the 20s. Sam Howell has moved up late first round pick. All these quarterbacks, all these pieces are just going to push better players down. Whether we're talking about a later first round pick we have, a earlier second round pick. The John Kincaid show said something very interesting today. He has his ear in Georgia, and he talked to someone that he believes is normally legit in Philadelphia that said the Eagles are high on George Pickens, and rightfully so. 6'4", a guy who gets in and out of his breaks pretty darn good for a guy that size. He's had some off-field issues. John Kincaid said that he was told, they asked him straight up, what was the deal between the fight, when you got suspended, this, that, and the third. They want to know. Because, you know, Howie Roseman, they like the J.J. Arcega-Whiteside players, the standout blue-collar players who don't translate on the field. I need a little dog in you if you're going to play in Philly, and that's what we need. But he talked about the Eagles going 2 defensive players, whether that's defensive end, defensive tackle, or cornerback. And we'll talk a little bit about cornerback too, but 2 defensive players, and then Howie Roseman moving up from 51 to, say, low 40s, mid 40s, and grabbing George Pickens out of Georgia. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Now, that will be not on day one, so you'd be having a whole day of suspense. But this draft, not only for the Eagles, is just so unpredictable. Stingley could possibly be there as we get on pick 11, pick 12. Derek Stingley Jr., Kyle Hamilton, them two players could be on the board between 10 and 13. What do you do if you're the Eagles? What do you do? Again, 15 to 12 ain't going to be that much capital you got to give up. Just remember what we did last draft, which was one of Howie Roseman's better drafts. We didn't wait. We wanted Devontae Smith. We moved up and got Devontae Smith. Who knew what would have happened if we didn't do that? But we did what we did, and we didn't sacrifice much. We got 2 third-round picks. We got a second in 2020. We got a lot of capital and players that I believe other teams look at higher than what we look at him in Philadelphia. Jalen Reagor's cooked. Andre Dillard's never going to start. That don't mean he can't get fresh starts for capital or just a moving piece, right? Atlanta got no wide receivers, none. What if we end up giving capital, giving a left tackle and a wide receiver to the Atlanta Falcons, who they believe can possibly be groomed, and we end up moving up? I'm just saying there's just so many things that Howie Roseman could do. Mock drafts are fun. 15, 18, who's there? Who do you like? I think we can help our team out. But I really don't see the Eagles sitting still. I think we're going to get some chutes and ladder going up and down, and we just got to make the right call. Again, quarterback run is crazy. Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral. What if they go early, right? What if later quarterbacks come into play? I think the quarterback run is unpredictable, and although people say this ain't that great of a quarterback draft, the NFL is always quarterback desperate. There's 15 teams that are looking to replace their quarterback any year, and almost every year, the way it looks like. You got the teams. Washington couldn't get it done right for a while. Now they got Carson. Are they sold on him? Would they get a guy to play backup to him in case injury and or to groom? There's just so many teams. I think one article said that there's 13 teams willing and possibly looking at quarterbacks within the first 2 rounds, and they tried to include the Eagles in that article. I mean, it is what it is. I can't speak for the front office, but when I look at this draft in its totality, it's just very unpredictable. We are going to be doing a full 7-round mock draft, and when we do the mock draft, we will have all the sound effects. We'll do 15, 18. Every pick will have one of these.
With the 15th pick in the NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select.
And we will do it. I'll explain why and how I came up with it and all that. And again, we will do the live mock draft. So make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, and turn post notifications on. But, talking about the draft and all the unpredictability, I think the Eagles need to come out the first round with a cornerback. I'm not saying it's more important than wide receiver. I'm not saying it's more important than defensive end or D tackle. But I think that you're going to have to go cornerback and D tackle, or cornerback and wide receiver, or cornerback and pass rusher. And then you try to get in the second round, whether you're moving up to get that wide receiver, moving up to get that D tackle or defensive end. I just think that there's more players on the line, and there's more players at the wide receiver position that you could get a player who can still contribute in the second round on the edge, D tackle, and at wide receiver over corner. I think once you get past Sauce, Stingley, then you got the Andrew Booth Jr.'s. Well, Trent McDuffie's there, but I'm going to put Trent McDuffie more to the McDuffies, Booth Jr., Kyer Alam, and then you got the Roger McCreary, Kobe Bryant. You got them guys, and I'm not saying they can't do it, but whoever comes in most likely is going to get a real opportunity to start besides Darius Slay. And we can't forget the fact that Darius Slay is in his 30s. Pro Bowl season, if I'm the Eagles, I would extend him 2 years. So that's 2 more years of big play Slay. But what's after 2 years? The wide receiver position at least got Devontae for 5+. And who knows? I believe Quez Watkins, Pascal could take steps at the wide receiver position before Zach McPherson and Tay Gowan can at the cornerback position. And I'm not trying to say we're good at wide receiver, but I think that Quez Watkins and Zach Pascal has a better chance of stepping up in a starter role than Tay Gowan or Zach McPherson starting on the opposite side. And so, again, Quez, Pascal, Smith are young. We got them for 5-6 years. Who do we have at the cornerback position that we believe in for more than 2 years? We don't even have Slay for 2 years yet. That's me saying the Eagles should go out there and extend him. So I think as much as, Howie has it where you got to feel really good about the guy, whether you move up, whether you stay, whether you move back. It got to be our guy. These next 2 years are crucial for the Eagles' development. We can't just buy everything in free agency, and we have to get to a certain point before we can start overpaying players. But it starts with this draft. Best player available, got to be the Montrose, got to be the motto. And if you like a guy, go get the guy. You have players, capital this year, next year. You just got to make sure we're getting players on this team that will contribute for the long haul also next year. And again, I'm starting to look at the cornerback position like it is a must. If we got to sacrifice wide receiver, we do. I'd rather get a wide receiver in the second round than a corner. I still believe the Pickens, the Mechis, the Alec Pierces, Christian Watson, these guys will be there in a second. Who's going to be there at the cornerback position in a second? When you look at edge rusher, Ebiketie might be there. Boye Mahe might be there. Drake Jackson, who we talked about, will be there. I mean, there's more pass rushers and there's more wide receivers that likely have a chance to be around 51, 45 compared to, and Pickens at the wide receiver positions compared to the corners, because you might be looking at one last corner, and that's the number 7th corner in the draft that you got to take at 51, and now he got to start, or you got to let him fight. McPherson, Tay Gowan, Vincent, and another guy who's now drafted, not as highly. Second round still better than the 4th round, and the 6th round, and the 5th round, where all these guys kind of came from. I'm just saying, it's a passing league. If we're going to get hit there, we got to get hit with the cornerback position. 2 years of Darius Slay. Vontae Maddox just got locked up. I love him in the slot. You got to secure that other spot. For everybody that poo-pooed on Steven Nelson, he did a decent job. And I don't think McPherson or Tay Gowan is going to come in and do any better. So if you thought we got cooked a little bit last year on that side, it's just going to get worse. You got the pass rush. You got to secure the back end. Safety is another story for another day. But I'm still thinking safety can be bailed out with a good pass rush and good corner play. They're not going to do as much. I think the linebackers, we upgraded. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This video is pretty much for me to say, who do you think, what do you think is going to happen? We're 10 days away, and this is my unpredictable video. I'm going to try to narrow it down the best as I can in these 10 days with guys I think the Eagles are high on. I'm going to go off what you say, what I say, and what we hear. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. We are out.